have a second speech today. So we will move into the table topics portion of the meeting. Did you see the top of your agenda? Our topic today is the pet hall of shame. I want to thank whoever came up with this theme because I laughed so much when I was coming up with some of the topics because I remember many of my pets, and this is really a fun topic. Just a side note, a lot of times when you are signed up for Comcast or some other service, they'll ask you an identifying question. And a lot of them is favorite pet's name. Well, I have had so many pets that I have walked away from a site and forgot my password and then went in to have help with my password, and I tried to type in my identifier and I'll say favorite pet's name, and all of a sudden I'm typing Shonda, Sassy, all these pets' names, and it's still not working. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I should have slowed down on the pets for the years. This is taking forever. So I am going to call on a few members today and ask you.
Yeah, it's going to be a short table.
It will be. It will be.
It's easy.
Yeah, you can time.
And that's a shame too, because it really is such a fun topic. Do we have a volunteer?
Yeah.
All right, come on up. Come on up.
Jay's going to do the timing. Timing constraints on, of course, everybody knows.
Lieutenant, we're gonna.
Oh, shoot. I got to read something?
No, yeah, no, I'll read it to you. You just have to
Okay,
pick a
all
topic.
right.
You probably couldn't read my handwriting no matter what kind of glasses you wore. Okay. What was the worst pet I ever had? Lieutenant is going to explain the worst pet he's ever had.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
All right, the worst pet I ever had was a schnauzer. Schnauzer, I don't know if you guys know, my wife likes little dogs. He looks like a little Scottish Terrier, you know, with a little face and everything. Very energetic. And this dog, one day I went to work. I got back and the dog was in the garage and he was acting very suspiciously. Dogs know when they're done wrong. I'm a gamer. Gamer means I have these boxes of games that I have collected over the years, and I stored them in the garage. And this little sucker, I came in, there's Monopoly, money, pieces, Risk, pieces, all over the garage. I had about $200-300 worth of games that he just went through and tore apart. That's not the only thing he did. He used to take firewood that we have for the fireplace, take it into the back, he'd take it out of the garage and take it into the backyard, or take it into the backyard and bring it back in the garage. I took hours digging up bulbs, planting bulbs. He spent hours digging up the bulbs. Okay, these things are growing. He goes back there and he's digging these suckers up. I'm proud to say and pleased to say, that dog ran off when we moved.
That is good.
His name was Boomer, and I really like bigger dogs, but the worst dog I think I had was him because he tore up a lot of stuff. Next was Lucky. Lucky wasn't too much better.
Yeah.
Okay, Lucky was unlucky, but yeah, that was my worst pet. The one I have now is it's not but for close behind, but he just poops on the sidewalk, and we had one. Sorry, I just gotta say this one. We had one, and you guys, sorry, this may gross you out. We have a female Chihuahua, and you have this other little dog. Female Chihuahua was out there taking a leak. He's underneath her, licking it and swallowing it.
Ew.
You nasty. I don't take those topics nasty.
That's horrible.
They're winners, I tell you.
No. I would be in trouble for pet abuse. I would want to smack that little thing across the neighborhood.
Don't lick me in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Stay away.
Well,
Let him kiss you.
you did a good job of defining the word. Okay, so we all know it's less harmful to make mistakes rearing pets than children. What's the worst error you made with a pet? Or what are you most embarrassed about when it comes to the topic of your pets or pets you've had? Or as Lieutenant said, puppies are known to chew up an owner's shoe. What is the worst destruction your pet ever?
I'll go with that one.
Okay. Thank you, Monica Happy. You're amazing.
Hello, everyone. What's my question is, puppies are known to teeth on their owner's shoes. What's the worst destruction your pet caused to personal property? I can remember that exact time in which I came home. And this pet that my husband had gotten, she was cute, she was very, nice, everything if you wanted her to be. But I was appalled to the fact that I came home and I found brand new shoes in the backyard. Brand new shoes, and not just one. There was like 3 different pairs that I had bought because, of course, I got them at a good deal, so I couldn't resist, and I couldn't just buy one, but I had to buy 3 of them. But he had gone ahead and chewed every single one of them, like one of each. And I'm like, oh my God. So, nevertheless, I was like, I don't want this dog. Shortly thereafter, we had some complaints because we did live in a neighborhood where there were condominiums. And the dog started to bark. Well, nevertheless, because of the complaints, we had to do something about it, and we got rid of the dog. So we gave it up for adoption, and I was so grateful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, Monica, I guess he said, didn't like the taste of this one. Let me try a different brand.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Didn't like the taste of that one either. Let me try this one.
And you were lucky because you could look in those little eyes and say, it wasn't about your behavior. It was all the neighbors. It was no tolerance, pesky neighbors. Now scoot. Alrighty, any other volunteers? Yay, okay. Alright, well, since we let others decide, you could either do worst pet, ugliest pet, what's the worst error you've ever made, and what are you most embarrassed about?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I think the worst pet decision I ever made. I went through a period of time where I fostered pugs. I love pugs.
Oh, they're cute.
At Christmas time this one year, there was this pug that needed a home. Her name was Angel. She wasn't an angel. She was an evil little thing, and I didn't know a pug could be evil, but she was evil. She was sick when we got her. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was kennel hop. Well, at the time, I already had 4 pugs of my own that were mine. So when I got this pug, I had to actually put her in a pen and keep her separate from my other pugs. Well, she didn't like being in the pen. She was this little teeny weeny thing. She knocked that pen over and got out.
Oh.
She was evil. She had the worst breath.
Oh.
My roommate was so funny because I came home one day and she was there with a toothbrush and toothpaste. She goes, I can't take her breath anymore. But
Yes.
and it was because she was sick. She had some kind of illness and she was on some strong antibiotics, and it just made her breath icky. So she looked cute, but she acted ugly. She smelled ugly. And she was just mean. And it was awful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes. Adoption decisions. They make a saint out of you, but they can be very trying. Would anybody else like to? Are you thinking about it, Jay, or are you a no today? It's all right, you're here, so you can pass, and you would still be in our good graces.
Nope.
All right, she's passing, and that's fine.
I'm passing.
Okay, all right. David, come on up. We can never have enough of you. All right, so you get to choose 2.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Surprise me.
Okay.
is this one?
David, all humans make mistakes. That's why they say that it is human to err and divine to forgive. But was there ever something you did with your pets that you find was just such a huge error it is hard to forgive?
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear you humiliate yourself and tell us the worst thing you've ever did.
Keep it clean.
Yeah, I did.
Look at this face. Look at this face. Would it be anything but?
This is going to be embarrassing, I feel. Or I feel it'll be embarrassing. So, the worst mistake I've ever made with a pet. When you take on a pet that's middle-aged, particularly a dog, you have to sometimes, if they're really badly behaved, break the dog, like you'd break a horse, and then build it back up. And the worst mistake I ever made was with the current dog, Lady. That dog is the most, and I mean the most, eager to please me ever. I took it just a little bit too far. You know, you do the things like you roll them on their back and, you know, you make them realize that you're the dominant one. And, you know, when they're not listening, you give them a swat on the butt until, you know, they learn that just no will work and things like that. And with Lady, I am sad to say that this dog will cross hill and dale, endangering her own life if I say, come. You know, if there's a busy street between us, she will run out into traffic. You know, if there's a fence, she will try and skirt through the fence. And, you know, I now have to be really, really careful because this dog loves me so much. And I just feel so bad that, you know, I may have overdid it with the alpha thing. So that is. I took a gander at this dog and realized that she wasn't obedient, and I had to correct it, and I overdid it. Does that count?
Yes, it counts.
Is she a Labrador?
She is a Labrador.
Yeah.
I tell my dogs to come, they go the other way.
Yeah, Labradors are
Hey, run away from it.
They really
when it
are.
comes to intelligence and obedience.
Yes, and super sweetness.
Oh, man. A golden?
Yeah, she is a yellow lab pit mix.
Oh, pit? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Not
that's
enough pit,
great.
obviously.
No, not a lot, but you can see it in the tip of her nose and her ears.
Amazing.
That's great. So you get the obedience and fierce protection.
I don't know about the fierce protection.
Well, you'll have to train that another day.
You're on the
That
last
will
system.
conclude our table topic session
She's
for the
noisy.
day. Table topics are now over, and we turn our attention to a general evaluator. Maria can't be here, so I will serve in her place.
Which one?
To start us off, I'm going to ask Lieutenant. Lieutenant, we are going to have an evaluation of David's speech, and I'm wondering, what are the timing constraints that Kathy will need to follow?
Yeah, you got 2 minutes to give an evaluation. I'll show you the green card. Yellow, you got 2.5, you start wrapping it up. 3 minutes, you're gone. About to start going over, so I'll show you the minute 3. So you got a total of 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Alrighty, and now, evaluating David's speech about National Consumer Protection Week, we have our very own Kathy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, David gave a speech on National Consumer Protection Week. And I just think in and of itself it's a great topic. One thing that frustrates me about the state is how they pull away funding for our outreach programs. And to me, it's kind of an outreach for...
It's the only event outreach has done so far this year.
Wow. We need so much outreach. It just, anyway.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited about this topic. The thing that is really neat about visual aids, and that you did, was just simple. You keep it simple. Just, you don't clutter it up with a bunch of colors and pictures, just simple words. People can look up there, and on the slides you showed, you had your key points that people could continually refer to as you were talking about the topic, which was good. And that's what is valuable with that. It helps people to remember. I'm a very visual person, so when I see something, that's how I remember it. It's visually. It's just to have a simple slide up there is very, very valuable. I feel like when you started off, you were a little awkward. You had something on the slide that you weren't expecting. Surprise! You said, "Oops," but that's okay. That happens. I think it was because you were using it from another presentation. But other than that, the presentation was good. There was one slide when you were showing a picture of the DCA site. It was hard to read. But one thing I like to do when I have a presentation is at the end of my slides, I put a list of websites that are handy for people. And you may have done that in your main one, but if you can't always see the screen, you can just give them web addresses to visit. Idea. I think it was very well researched. One thing I love about your speech is it seems like every time you come up and talk, I learn some new interesting trivia that I did not know before. And I come to realize it's every time you come up with a speech, there's very, very good information. The descriptions of the scams were terrific. I didn't know about those scams. I didn't even know, and I should know, I didn't know that locksmiths had to be licensed. I didn't know either.
If they're going to be doing a job over $500, they also have to have a contractor's license.
Oh, so that's good to know. That's the kind of outreach information we need to get out there. Without outreach, we don't inform the consumers. If we don't inform the consumers, we become ineffective in a sense, in a lot of ways. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. But that's how you brought people in. You have people in the audience saying, hey, I can relate to this. Yes, I have a locksmith, or yes, I use a security company. So you bring them in with that, relating that information to them, and then describing scams that could happen to them. So you really get the interest. The only thing that would have been better, and you may have done this in your big presentation, was really to describe better why we license. It's to protect the consumer, but it's more than that. I mean, it's a big piece of it, but it is more than that. It's also to make sure that they're qualified. And there are other things, too, that you really couldn't, I know for time's sake you couldn't go into, but that was something I was looking for. But other than that, loved it. Loved it. That's the kind of thing I could sit and listen to for quite a long time. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Normally I make them sit for 40 minutes.
That was, yeah, I can understand that.
Thank you very much. Yay, Kathy. Kathy was also our awe counter and our grammarian. Do we have a report today?
Okay. David used gander, word of the day.
Yay.
Someone else did. And I kind of blame myself for that. I didn't bring it in writing, and sometimes you need it right in front of you. Oh, you know. David did have an oops. I'm going to keep bugging you about that.
You can.
But there was a few ums.
Yeah, the first one.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Monica. Monica did really good. I was amazed.
Yes.
And you did some, I say and a lot. And to try to get my thoughts together.
What about me? Just kidding, I had to talk.
You did. But other than that, it was very good.
Okay.
not too many other ums or ahs.
Great, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Fun word of the day,
It's
too.
good, you.
I will give our general evaluation of the meeting. We started on time. There was just a little bit of a lag because we had extra equipment to set up, but we did a real good job of getting us to realize that it was time to start the meeting. And every member could sense that cue and got in position to begin the meeting. This was important because we had a guest, and it's always nice when we have a guest to still have a meeting flow that looks like we're organized. We did a fabulous job of that. We've shown that we are resourceful. How many other meetings can have 3 key people bow out at the last minute and still proceed and do a pretty good job of that? So I think we're really getting comfortable with the roles and filling in where we need to. I really like the use of the camera, the PowerPoint, and hopefully we will feel more comfortable in taking David's lead and putting a lot of our speeches on some sort of electronic presenting format just to give things more pizzazz and help the audience out. We might be listening to a few things, but when you can see those key points on a screen, you might want to write them down. It's also a great way to serve our audience, because if you ever wanted more of the information, didn't have time during the meeting, you could simply request the member later, hey, I really enjoyed that. Could you send me your PowerPoint? It's a great way. Yes, Lieutenant.
Special recognition for Monica for.
Oh yes, and of course, we had an excellent meeting today because our newest member, who I have guaranteed she can go at her own pace, decided to try table topics, which is a big deal because that's pretty scary to come up to the lecture and on the fly give a speech. So yay! It was a breakthrough meeting today. Thank you, one and all. I now will move to the business portion of the meeting, and you'll be so glad because the business portion is so painless. I'd like to remind you that Toastmasters International is having a one-on-one membership drive, so if you can invite a friend to come and check out our meeting, hopefully they'll become a new member. Also, in our unit, one of our employees shared with us that this Thursday is at all drive-ins, free movies night, free movies, live music, and games as soon as the sun sets. So this Thursday, which I think is the 25th, at the Sacramento Drive-In, you can see Wreck-It Ralph, Jack and the Beanstalk, the new one, as well as Fast and Furious 5. Gates open at 6 a.m. If you want a snack, they have nachos for $1. So a fun.
Sacramento Drive-In.
It's 65th, or maybe it's Bradshaw. I
Is
don't
that the
know.
one you see off the freeway there with the?
Yeah,
15?
you go up 50.
50, oh, that's what it's.
It's more than halfway to Rancho.
So it's nature.
Uh,
Yeah, just before,
Yeah.
after nature, yeah.
It's online.
I mean, I guess maybe it is Rancho, but I think it's before Bradshaw.
Okay, past 50 and past Mather.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, and so free, 3 movies. Yeah, you can do that. Take some kids and they'll consider you a hero. Yes, Lieutenant?
I just got one last thing before you wrap up, okay?
Of course, come on up.
No, I just looked here, okay, I noticed, on my, training, leadership, communication chart, achievement chart, there are some mistakes on there. I'm gonna have, Mel Knox, I'm gonna have a CC, Janet Thrasher, I'm gonna have to remove her. Jay, you don't have a CC, so I'm gonna have to take that off of there, sorry about that.
What is
I'm gonna take
What is
a copy communicators when you go through all the teams, all
This
10
one?
speeches.
Okay.
Yeah, when you go through all 10 speeches.
Yeah, I don't get this.
Oh,
This is the
yeah.
first time I'm seeing this.
Right, it shows that on you give them one icebreaker.
Yes, I
And
did.
that's it.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to give 10 speeches,
Okay.
okay? And Mona, Maggio, I'm gonna take her off. Monica, what is
No,
that?
Mona's coming back to us. She's a paying member. She won't be here, but she's going to be on our books.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So how is it going to help her?
Mine?
It's
It helps us.
Yeah, Mona's helping us. She
Yeah.
helped charter this club so that we became in existence. Yeah, she's an EO of optometry.
Oh,
She
okay.
also has a lot of roles with the district Toastmaster. She chairs the conferences. If you go to the spring conference in Stockton on May 17th, she has a role there. She does the program, she helps get things organized. And it's fun for us to have someone like her be a part of our group. And yes, by her paying money to be a member, even though she can't be here, in order to exist, we have to, they'd like us to have 20 members.
Oh,
We
okay.
need between 7 and 20. She's keeping us afloat.
Keep going. Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay, Monica, what's your last name?
H-E-N-B-Y.
H-E-N-B is in boy?
Mm-hmm.
Y.
Yeah.
All right. The other, and I know you won't be, I won't be scheduling for any speeches or anything until you're ready. So you let me know when you're ready. Otherwise, you won't see your name on this chart here.
Okay,
On
then
the other
I
one.
need some books or something?
Yes,
Yes.
those are going to be mailed to you, but I'm bringing you a new book tomorrow that you can start with until.
Oh, okay.
Now, if there's anyone that wants to speak anytime soon, or you feel that you're looking very kind of in the middle, a little bit upper middle. this
I
is
think I
people want
should
to
be
speak
like
to.
speaking, right?
So if you want to speak, let me know so I can kind of move some names around.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm all Xed in to speech, through speech 8.
You're all Xed in through speech 8.
Yeah.
8. Thank
So
you
6,
very
if you
much.
could X in 6 and 8,
6 and 8, we'll do.
and I have 2 there.
All right.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
what's the next stage for you guys?
You go to advance,
Oh,
or you
okay.
can get another CC.
Oh, okay.
And the speeches do not have to be in order. They do not
Oh,
have to be
is
in
that-
order.
is it
You can
right?
go in whatever
Okay.
order you
So
want.
I have to pick up a topic and speak about it, right? Okay.
Okay,
I'll do something on May 13th then. Unless I have a date, I won't do it.
May 13th it is.
so you want to speak next meeting?
Yeah,
All right,
I think I'll have time to do it.
all right, Jay. I'll put you
Yay,
in.
fabulous.
Okay,
I need to get out of the Toastmasters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, get the
That's why we are
competent
here.
That's why you're here,
communicator.
right? You
Yeah.
gotta be a leader, not a spectator,
Yeah.
be a motivator. And, let's see, you got that, you got that. You wanna put your name in. Oh, keep the charts with you, so if you spot something later on and you decide, I'm gonna be prepared to speak in June. I'm gonna be prepared to speak in September. Just let me know, and I'll put it down, okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, that's it, thank you, Avis.
You're welcome, thank you. Yay.
Okay, our time's up.
Yes.
And
Time's up.
your speech was almost, doesn't really matter, because but you were doing well on time, if you just had a little introduction. Where you was
Okay,
why you were
nobody
doing it,
asked me about
you
the
would've been
table.
right on time, but not a big deal, because I know it normally goes 40 minutes.
That's okay.
So is it long or a little long or a
You
little?
went a little long, but
Oh.
not,
I went longer than 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
but
It-
not a
I
big
couldn't
deal.
even
I
tell.
know it goes longer than that.
Yeah.
Okay? You're free to go, Monica, and thank you for joining. I appreciate you being
Yes,
here.
thank
And I was
Hey,
very
good
impressed
job.
with you.
That was really nice.
That's
I've been here
impressive.
for very good.
I'm probably been a spectator.
That's right.
Yeah, get motivated, don't be a spectator. Get in the game.
Yeah, I
Get win. Yes.
You can win if you're not.
And if you
Can't
ever
win
want
if
to
you're not in the game,
see
that's right.
speech number 1.
Okay. Time to go.
Give us a smile, Avis.
Oh, you got me.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing?
Oh my
And your
God.
slides were
See you
good
next time.
because we
Sleepless
need,
nights.
you want your